Hi, and welcome back for those that are joining me. For those that are new, this is the second in the series of AI for Teachers videos. In this particular one, we're going to be following on from the previous video. So in the previous video, we looked at using AI to generate a multi-lesson schedule of work. So this was broken down section by section, everything I asked for, and you can see this on the screen at the moment. Now, what we're looking at in this lesson, how do I take this and actually create a presentation that I can then use within my class to actually work through. And not only do I use it as a guide for working through, I can also release that for revision purposes for my pupils. So let's have a look at the schedule of work. So we're going to do one lesson at a time. So I'm going to go here, we've got lesson 1. I'm going to scroll down here, main activities. I'm going to go down to here, right down to the end, homework. I'm going to copy that. I'm then going to go to another tab. Now, this is an open source piece of software I have installed on my machine, and it's called PresentOn. What we can do, actually, I'll show you the GitHub repository so you can download this and install this yourself. You can see this on the screen at the moment. So this is it. These are some examples of some of the things that it can generate. I'll put a link in the description so you can follow through. If we go back to my local instance, one of the things you can see here is I've got the settings screen up at the moment, and you can actually connect it through to multiple different AI systems. So if you have an API key for any of these, you should be able to work through with that. One of the things you will also notice, and I will actually have to blur this out, you can actually have the images that are within the presentation created by the AI system, or as I have here, I actually have Pexels. So Pexels is a website which has thousands, if not tens of thousands, of copyright-free images that you can reuse. So I'm using those. But let's go back to our create template, our dashboard. I'm going to create a new presentation. So here is where all the instructions go. And you can be very detailed with your instructions, exactly as I was in the previous video for generating the scheme of work. But here I'm just going to paste in exactly what I copied from previously. I noticed quite a bit of work there, so I want around 18 slides. You can also, if you have existing slides or PDFs or other documents that contain additional information that is relevant to this work, so you might have a previous teacher's PDF documents or PowerPoint documents, those can be uploaded and it will use RAG to actually extract the information out from those and use those as well. One of the things I have also done in the past is actually just upload an existing PDF I've created, upload it here just to make it look better, and it does a great job. I've just pasted the instructions here. In fact, minimal instructions, it's just the schedule of work for one lesson. I'm then going to click next. It's now going to start to generate that. Now I currently have this connected to Gemini API. For those that would like everything local, you can actually, as you saw in the settings file, you can actually have this connected directly using Llama to a locally deployed large language model. So it's generated the first part. We're now going to select the templates. You have a choice of templates here, and you can upload your own templates. So let's say your curriculum lead has actually defined a template structure for all PowerPoint presentations. You can upload that and use that. I personally like this, the default one, the general one. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to click on generate presentation, and it's going to start to create this. Now this will take a few minutes, not long, considering what it will actually produce. And you'll start to see each screen as it starts to get created, and then the images get added on later. One of the things I will do, even though it's only taking 2 to 3 minutes, I will actually cut the video down here, and I will jump to the point where it's near completion for this part. Okay, so there, it's now completed my presentation. Let's just go to the first slide here. So again, I normally remove this part here. It's given me a title. I can change if I want to. Here's the objectives: defensive design and authentication, input validation, managing input or invalid data, classroom resources. We can go through that. So straight away, there's an activity, spot the problem. So you can assign that. And then we go to the introduction for defensive design. And there's a formative assessment there. So also asking us to use a whiteboard, which is great for feedback purposes. There's your main activities, anticipating misuse, authentication, VB examples, because again, earlier on, for those that cast their mind back, or if they review the previous video, we'll see I specified we actually use VB. So scaffolding and extension work. It goes all the way down here. Practical. So lots of practical activities and ways to actually ascertain whether students have actually learned anything. Now we have this, we can actually go up to the export button, and I can export this as a PowerPoint presentation. Now the great thing about that is I can then open that up. I can make a slight adjustments to the presentation. Let's have a look at that. I can change the layout. So here we are, we've got this open up now, and again I might remove this part here. We can get rid of this. I might decide to actually leave the lesson one or change it. Occasionally you might find some of the text sometimes goes off the bottom. You may have to adjust slightly. But again, if you have a look at the images that are actually associated, now these have all come out directly from Pexel. Now this is using the AI system to determine and search for the most appropriate. Sometimes they may not be perfect. You can insert your own, obviously, but for the majority of the time I've actually found it does a great job in actually producing something very valid. And again, from a layout point of view, I think it looks fantastic. It certainly looks much better than PowerPoints I could have created. Now, that's it. It was a very short video. Just wanted to show you how quickly you can actually start to create resources for your lessons. And it's a fantastic chance to actually save time, but also produce something that's engaging. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to joining me again next time.